There's a lot going wrong in the live streaming space right now. We'll call it the 7 deadly sins of content creation, starting with something that's going viral right now, Mizkif's SLAPP lawsuit against his ex-girlfriend. This is Emiru, who released an hour-long video the other day speaking about her relationship with Mizkif.
I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me.
This was her motive for releasing the video now as opposed to before. And since this is involving 2 live streamers, of course Mizkif is going to go on his show and give his response. This is the old content flywheel.
If people want to act like this, you know, I see some people saying some very obtuse things. We can watch the world burn.
I don't know about the world burning, but we do know his reputation and brand has been burning.
I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a SLAPP lawsuit.
It was really interesting to hear her say this statement because he ended up filing a SLAPP lawsuit just a couple days later. The reason why I put this first is because I absolutely despise SLAPP lawsuits. As a creator myself, I am absolutely against them in any way, shape, or form, and I hate that he filed it. Mizkif essentially said that she's lying and baselessly accusing him of these things that you see on the screen, and the video's been viewed millions of times, but even worse, his response has been viewed even more millions of times because of how bad it is.
Expose everything, bro. It's time to go full demon time. It's clearly obvious at this point. It's full demon time. Why not?
It's really funny him saying these things because he has absolutely nothing. He has no argument. This is a very one-sided battle. If this was a boxing match, it would be very clearly 10-8, maybe even 10-7 because of how bad his arguments are. You usually make these statements if you have an ace in the hole. You have something that you can come out with and reverse Uno the other party. But this was a knockout punch from Emiru, and his responses have been so bad. I think Mizkif threw in the defamation claim because he was trying to uphold his reputation that he's the good, innocent good guy in all this. But I think the lawsuit really comes down to him claiming that he was terminated from interest in his company that he helped started due to the nature of Emiru's allegations.
They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation.
Ironically, it became almost a smear campaign against himself because this whole story made him look so bad. Instead of having a good response, he's had nothing but horrendous responses and everyone's been clowning on him. Furthering my belief that this lawsuit is more about money and contract disputes as opposed to defamation, this paragraph is stating that Mizkif received a letter saying he owed in excess of $600,000 to Mythic, I guess a management company, for fees for a breach that he's saying never occurred.
And then I check my Discord messages and he's messaging me. He's saying like, Emmy, you know, I'm gonna kill myself. I waited so long for this, etc. Basically, he was upset because I had higher viewership than him.
These streamers spend all day online, both in front of a camera and reviewing clips that their fans send them, or just sitting and looking for news all day. And so I think you have people that are terminally online and everything is about view count, viewership. And clearly that was a factor in eroding a relationship, was the view count, that the girlfriend had more views than him. Sounds really awful. It sounds so dumb, but I think my understanding of a lot of these streamers is they're very emotionally stunted. These are people that have spent the last decade of their life online all day, every day. They have a very stunted view of reality.
He would destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy walls. Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom. The holes in the wall.
None of us were there, so we can only take what they say at surface level. But based on her allegations for an hour, and based on his response, and there seem to be some clips that have surfaced where you can hear in the background him slamming doors, seem to be a very abusive relationship. And it kind of goes back to my theory that a lot of these people are very emotionally stunted. In that same letter, Mizkif received saying he owed $600,000 in management fees. Sounds like he also was notified that he was going to lose shares of stock in One True King, OTK, and they demanded payment of almost $300,000. So that would be $900,000 in total for a guy who believes his brand is down the shitter and might be in real trouble as far as reputation goes. $900,000 is a lot of money. She's reading through some of the text messages now. Apparently they got into a big fight because Mizkif was upset she was playing with a specific character that maybe had some more points or something, and he was upset that she chose that character. This is kind of amusing from my perspective because I don't watch any of this stuff. And so this feels like you're jumping into teenage drama, and then you find out that they're 30-year-old adults, and you wonder, what the hell went wrong? Mizkif and Emiru were renting a house together, but probably financially missing out on something I want to tell you about. If you're paying rent every month without earning anything in return, let me introduce you to Built, the loyalty program for renters that transforms your rent payments into valuable rewards. Here's how it works. When you pay your rent through Built, you earn Built points, the industry's most valuable and flexible points on your largest monthly expense. Built is also unlocking experiences and VIP treatments around your neighborhood, like complimentary add-ons at Built Partners and comedy and dining experiences. Built transforms the spending that you're already doing into an opportunity to earn rewards and unlock the best that your neighborhood has to offer. When you join Built, you can begin earning rewards at places you're already shopping or spending. As an example, I'm going to be able to start earning rewards points when I use Lyft. Even better, as I build up my Built rewards points through paying rent and spending, I'm going to be able to use those points for future purchases. Built points can be transferred to your favorite airlines and hotels or used toward future rent payments, Lyft rides, student loan payments, and more. There's no cost to join, and you can begin earning rewards on the rent you're paying no matter where you live. Sign up through my link in the description or scanning the QR code on the screen, and make sure to use my link so they know I sent you. Mizkif is trying to argue that these companies didn't even look into the truth of the allegations. He feels wronged. He feels like the comments were defamatory. He believes he was unfairly removed from these companies, and he owes a lot of money that he doesn't believe he owes.
And then there was more stress on top of this. We both had to hide the relationship from everyone. If anyone found out or was known, I can get in a ton of trouble with OTK and can cause a ton of problems in my life.
I played this clip strategically after reading the last paragraph because he's stating that, oh, it's not fair that there was no breach of contract. But then he's admitting to doing something, engaging in a relationship with someone that could possibly affect his contract and maybe his status as an employee. I don't know the specifics, maybe employee under this management company. And so he's admitting that he was doing something wrong. He's also alleging that Asmongold has been defaming him. Asmongold is a part owner of OTK.
We had a doggy door between our rooms just so we can hide it from everyone else, including my roommates. We would lock the doors to avoid our roommates finding out. As time went on, they found out, but to most of our friends in the Austin circle, they never officially knew. That stress alone would drive anyone mad, but our love for each other was strong and we knew we could handle it.
I can't stop laughing at this clip. It's so funny that the stress of this relationship, of having to go through a doggy door to be with your girlfriend. When I was listening to this clip for the first time, it reminded me of Nick Swartzen in the movie Grandma's Boy. He's got the car bed and he talks about his roommates, and he wants to hide that his roommates are really his parents. And so I know his roommates weren't his parents, but this kind of reminds me of that thing where he's trying to crawl through a doggy door to be with his girlfriend because he doesn't want his roommates to find out. How immature is all this? I'm assuming there was a real reason why he didn't want people to know he was dating her, but it just sounds so silly. Like, what is this? Are we high school? Are we in high school again?
He's basically trying to shift a relationship where he was the aggressor and the abuser, at least allegedly, right? I've got to say this for legal reasons. Allegedly, the aggressor and the abuser towards Emiru, and shift this into we were both wrong.
This is one of the clips that Mizkif is alleging Asmongold was defaming him on, which of course is not defaming him at all. And also, YouTube commentators out there, please stop using the word allegedly, especially when you don't know what it is. I find it so fascinating how many people think this is some magic card that they just throw in without any understanding of why you would ever use the word or when to use it appropriately. Here's the paragraph where Mizkif is alleging he's losing followers and subscribers on a daily basis because of the defamation. He's also losing existing sponsorships and increased difficulty in securing future sponsorships. Now, it has nothing to do with his response and the fact that Emiru sounds very confident in what she's saying. It sounds like other people are experiencing something similar. That has nothing to do with it. It's all the false allegations that don't seem to be so false.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
This is the clip that was going viral because of just how funny it was. Can you imagine being a grown man and saying that a girl, you're trying to position a girl as being just as violent as you, that you were slamming doors and abusive in many different ways, and the fact she was throwing clothes and plushies, which I didn't even know what plushies were. There's just like a little stuffed foamed animal. I don't think even Shohei Ohtani could throw a 99-mile-an-hour fastball plushie and hurt an adult male. This was such a funny clip, and it's so funny that he's trying to position himself as a victim here. Of course, it went viral because of how pathetic he sounds.
He has attempted to contact me over 40 times individually this year in individual texts, Discord messages, Instagram DMs, and phone calls.
My argument is that a lot of these streamers are basically the oldest teenagers in the room. Can you imagine sending 40 messages to someone? After 2 or 3, you're down bad. They're not responding. She, in another clip, she showed screenshots of the messages. It's really bad. 40 messages in a row with no response, asking questions, no response. Really, really, really sad to see.
He was spam texting her when he lived in LA and threatening to destroy her in LA. It's not like he changed when he went to LA.
That's such a bad look. Obviously, none of us were there. These stories, you're just kind of basing off what they're saying against each other, which you never know how much of it is truth. So what I like to do is people who are also involved kind of from the sidelines, what are they saying? Everyone seems to be coming to her side and saying that Mizkif is in the wrong here. Not only in the wrong, but his behavior has been unacceptable in many other ways. Moving on to something else I've been seeing in the live streaming world is Jack Doherty is one example of this, but promoting gambling in OnlyFans to kids. This is one of Jack's posts on his Instagram.
Why are we going in here, Grace? All right, if you say so. All right, my 2.5x, should I cash out? I'll wait for 3x. Boom! Just like that, we made 1,600. Grace, we made 1,600.
That's Stake, the illegal online casino that he promotes very heavily to his Instagram, to, of course, his audience's kids.
What's happening? What are we doing?
Pull it out, pull it out.
All right, black or red?
Bro.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's go! I just won $2,000. Oh my gosh.
I hope you're wondering who the hell watches this, because that's my reaction too. I hope you're of the older demographic where you read books, go outside and go to the gym and do stuff in your life that is productive and not watch this trash. Jack is the king of brain rot content, and the only reason why I think it matters is because his audience is predominantly kids. Last clip, I promise. This is just another example of the brain rot content he produces. Somehow people watch it. I guess kids watch and share because he gets hella views. I watched a podcast recently in preparation of this video. He's made $10 million a year for the last few years. The kid makes a lot of money. To his credit, he knows how to make money. The problem is he does it in very unethical ways, in my opinion. Bouncing off what Jack does with Stake, we also have the illegal gambling, specifically by Aiden Ross and Drake. Just a couple days ago, I released a video reporting on this lawsuit involving Stake, Drake, and Aiden Ross. I hope you didn't miss it. However, I think this story is just getting started. This is a pretty big story, one that's going to get a lot worse because of their actions and all the people affected. Here's a clip of Drake and Aiden Ross live stream gambling on Stake Casino. They get paid a lot of money. Why? Because they have huge influence. Not only are they influencing a lot of people to come gamble on Stake and probably lose a lot of money, but even worse, they probably get a lot of people to start gambling, which I hope we can all agree. It's definitely my opinion that gambling is a net negative to society. I think more and more people are starting to become aware of this as we start seeing more people have gambling addictions and how it ruins lives. Hope you watched my video reporting on this lawsuit. In case you didn't, here's the punchline. Drake and Aiden Ross gamble under deeply fraudulent pretenses. They purport to gamble online with Stake.com. They often do not do so with their own money, despite telling the public that they do so. They have these big wins. We win millions of dollars. The problem is they don't gamble with their own money, which I find to be one of the most unethical things in content creation history. Next, we have Vitaly and Johnny Somali, two streamers known as nuisance influencers because they go around disrespecting the culture in different countries. Here's an image of Vitaly after he was arrested for harassing people in Manila, Philippines. Apparently, he's been transferred to a maximum security prison sometime this year, just a couple months ago.
I was gonna flip it to 40. Fantastic.
Stake figured out that all these streamers need to make money, and it's really hard. When you're doing unethical stuff on camera, most brands don't want to work with you, but Stake is willing to do so. Why? Because they don't care. They're the most unethical business in all of this content creation space. And so they align with these streamers because they know that they have a young audience and it influences people to begin gambling.
So I came to this country and somebody told me to take this rhino pill. You know rhino?
No idea.
It's like a penis pill.
Okay.
So I took it and my pee-pee won't go down. What do I do? Okay.
Release yourself, mate.
Do you think your wife can help me? No. Okay.
This is kind of a funny clip in an immature way. These two people didn't seem to be too uncomfortable. However, this is his type of content. He goes around and just kind of harasses people. Also, people in the Philippines, generally nice and friendly. They don't seem to be too assertive. And so I don't think they're going to speak up when they feel uncomfortable. But he goes around making everyone feel uncomfortable. That's why he's a nuisance influencer. There's only a handful of them, but they are awful. They're terrible for society.
And I love Kick to death. He gave me an opportunity. I love Stake. But you only notice the bad. What about the good? What about the good? Have you told the team what I do? Exactly. You only notice the wild stuff. What's wild? What's wild? Messing with security guards in Philippines? I will never ruin Kick's reputation.
I think the streaming world attracts a lot of sociopaths like Vitaly, who can just go around harassing people, and then they have the gall to say that, oh, no, the little bad content over there, that's kind of irrelevant. What about all the good I do for the platform? You don't do any good for the platform. You just go around harassing people. That's why you ended up in prison. While researching this video, I found out that the Philippine jails increasingly more packed. They're the most overcrowded incarceration systems in the world. This part I found fascinating, though. Many will spend months or even years in the jail because the court system is so jammed. That's why I think Vitaly has been locked up for so long. He might be facing years before he even gets a court date. This is the most important part, though. The detainees outnumber the guards by so many that a tacit agreement between officials and jailhouse gangs has become the rule. So the gangs are technically illegal, but they help keep things in order. That's how bad it is there. Johnny Somali is another nuisance influencer seeking clicks overseas. Thankfully, he'll be in prison for a while too. This is his Wikipedia with a list of the 8 charges he's facing in South Korea. Probably gives you a pretty good idea of what we're dealing with here. I found this video that was kind of summarizing his experience over in Asia, that he was running around harassing people. I didn't really look into him too much. I've seen a couple clips on him. I'll kind of skip through this to save you from the brain rot. However, just an awful, awful human being. Just going over harassing the lovely people over in Asia and ended up, let me look at that smile, most likely sociopath in order to do this type of content and think that you're like the good guy in all this. This clip is full of foul language. He seems to be this like outlaw. I don't think I've ever come across someone that's so hated universally and they almost seem to enjoy it. It's almost like the views and attention above everything else. Lastly, we have Nina Lynn, who committed assault on camera. Nina Lynn can be seen here grabbing this young man. He's clearly uncomfortable and doesn't want to be involved. He doesn't appear to be too assertive and doesn't appear to be able to like kind of push them out of the way. And so here's the incident right here. She's obviously engaging. Both these girls are finding this amusing when this young man clearly is not. Totally not acceptable behavior at all. I found this on Twitter. Apparently they went into the bedroom and it got even worse. This poor kid had nowhere to go and they were just totally harassing him. I still haven't wrapped my head around the value proposition of live streaming content. I think it is the dumbest content ever created. I think we are all significantly as a society getting far dumber for watching this stuff. Our younger generation is cooked. But I just want to give you a clip. Maybe you can help me understand why people watch this. Here you go.
You can't even do it. They said we love God over here. Yeah, shout out to God, bro. Hey, guys. One real shit, God redirected me, bro. So the fake motherfuckers out there, he gonna get you. He gonna get you, bro. He gonna get you. Real shit. Real shit. This is how I go to sleep.
Yeah, they just kind of like walk around and they just film the whole time and they talk into the camera with kind of fake accents and they make it seem entertaining, but I really don't understand the value proposition. I don't understand why people watch this. The final deadly sin of the live streaming world, I'll put in the hands of the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy, right here. Terrible protocols to prohibit crime. A couple weeks ago, TwitchCon happened where a lot of fans can go meet their favorite streamers. I saw this tweet. This is before the event. Tectone, who apparently is a pretty popular streamer, he's saying, hey, for anyone who's going, Twitch can't even moderate their own website. So why do you think they can moderate an IRL event? There's a lot of documented problems, and please proceed with caution, everyone. I also saw this other tweet, QT Cinderella, who I believe is also another popular streamer. There are apparently a lot of streamers aren't attending this year out of fear of safety. This is known, so Twitch should know that there's a lot of creators who should be the important part of the event because without them, the fans don't show up. They need to be given consideration. So this response was, I'm not going to TwitchCon this year, but their security is a joke. They even gave their experience a couple years ago how security just waved everyone through. This is Emiru right here in the middle of the frame. She's the girl at the beginning of this video who was sued by Mizkif. This is at TwitchCon. An absolutely horrendous incident. And there's some more lore. I don't know too much about it, but apparently there was issues. She wanted to bring her own security. Twitch said, no, we don't want you to bring your own security. We're forcing you to be here. And then for this to happen, just a horrendous incident. And it clearly was known ahead of time that something like this could happen. And it seemed like it fell on deaf ears. Here's Dan's response on Twitter, which did not go over well with the community because he was warned and it seemed like they just did not put any effort into protecting their creators at all. These are 100-pound Asian women standing vulnerable without any security. And they didn't seem to care. This guy just walked right up with the worst of intentions and no one was really there to stop him. Nina Lynn from just a minute ago was apparently banned for only a week. I've been told that there are streamers out there who are banned for longer terms for far worse incidents. I want to conclude this video with one of the most infamous photos in YouTube history. This is Logan Paul, 2017. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the story, but I bring it up because I think this ties into what we're seeing in the live streaming space. I think it's gotten really competitive. All these creators are on a treadmill where they're trying to get attention. In our world, that is our oxygen. Attention, views, that's how we get paid. And I think a lot of the new streamers are trying to find their own little niche. And unfortunately, in a very competitive space, you kind of need to do something more sensational than the last. In this video, I wanted to collectively throw in all the things I'm seeing, all the unethical things I'm seeing that I don't agree with, I don't like. And I think live streaming right now is a massive net negative to society. Thankfully, we haven't seen the big pop moment, which I think with live streaming might be far worse than the Logan Paul incident. We haven't quite seen that yet, but I think we're getting close. It feels like between the gambling and the harassing people in public, the OnlyFans, spreading OnlyFans and gambling to kids, I think all that is a massive net negative to society. And I hope there's a correction coming soon, because if not, I'm really worried about the next generation. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching.